this video is not intended to encourage anyone smoking. So if you don't smoke, please don't even watch this video. If you don't smoke, that's very good. Do not smoke. You do not need to smoke. I feel like smoking is a bit glorified, seen as cool and all these things. Like, it's really not cool to harm your body. Like, let's be real, it's not. So I just want to make that very, very clear. This is strictly for smokers who want to either change the way that they smoke to enlighten them and have a spiritual growth, or if they want to eventually stop smoking as well. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Gem. I hope you lot are doing really well. I appreciate each and every one of you subscribing so much. You guys give me so much motivation, so thank you to each and every one of you. If this is your first time seeing me, I'm Gem. I speak about spirituality, self-healing and astrology. I'll soon be doing lifestyle vlogs as well, so if that's your cup of tea, definitely subscribe and let's do this thing. I started smoking when I was about 17, so I'm nearly 28 now, so that's a good decade that I was smoking the bud. I was definitely addicted at a point to smoking. It wasn't a thing where it was just casually smoking. It was a thing where if I didn't have a spliff that night, it was not a pretty sight. And that is something I really did not like. Like, I didn't want to have to rely on something to feel like myself. I was using it as a coping mechanism. It wasn't until I had a spiritual awakening. I've had more than one, and I just want to say quickly, like, having a spiritual awakening is not like a walk in the park. It is awful. Well, for me anyway. I won't say it was all awful. A lot of it was good, but a lot of it was scary, awful and frightening. One good thing that I'd say I got out of one of my spiritual awakenings was that I started to become a lot more health conscious. So I was very much more aware of what I'm putting in my body, how it's affecting me, and just trying to look after and take care of my body a lot more. So what I started to do, this whole smoking thing, I want to nip this in the bud, no pun intended, but I really wanted to stop and just not have to rely on something to feel myself, or rely on something to block the pain away and all of these things. So the first thing I'd done, and the first thing that you could do as well, is I really started to reduce the amount I was smoking. Instead of me smoking just as and when I felt like it, I would smoke just in the evening. So I would make sure all my to-do list was done, my cleaning, my dishes, my chores, all of the things I needed to do. I'd make sure that's all out of the way before I picked up that spliff. And this kind of encouraged discipline into my habit. So this is what you could do as well. So make sure you have a to-do list, even in your mind, or writing it down, and making sure you get that all done before you pick up that lighter. Make sure you do that, and then you'll feel a bit better in yourself. The second thing that I done, which you could do as well, is I started to pray over my bud. Well, not everyone, but we pray over our food, we pray over ourselves, we pray over each other and the people that we love and care about. So I thought to myself, I should really be praying over my bud, because there's been a lot of people who's touched up this bud with their energies and their auras, and who knows what energies they've put onto that bud. So me praying over it was literally just me trying to purify that bud as much as I can before I used it. And this gave me a lot of power in myself. The way I pray is self-empowering. I feel like praying has been taught in certain religions to be a thing where you're giving away your power. Kind of like, I won't say begging, but kind of like you're pleading for things. But the way I pray is quite self-empowering. So I just say I'm asking for this bud to be purified and remove any negative energies from this bud before I inhale it. Obviously, intention is everything. I say this in all my videos, but it's so true. I started to notice that I was a lot more positive, a lot more happier when I started to do this. So this is something that you could try and see how it is with you. Third thing I've done, and what you could do as well, is I started to put crystals with my bud before I smoke them as well. So if you're into crystals, you will know that each crystal has their own healing properties. As an example, this is a angelite. And angelite is a crystal that can help you to connect with your higher selves, your angels, your spirit guides. So I kind of like let the bud marinate with the crystal before I smoked it. And so as I'm then smoking that spliff, I would think about all the properties of the crystal I was using. So another example, if you had a rose quartz, which represents self-love, self-care, compassion and peace, then you would think about all of them elements as you're smoking the bud. This is when I started to really use smoking as a tool rather than a coping mechanism. I was starting to use it as a tool to heal myself and to just elevate higher spiritually as well. What I started to notice is the less that I smoke, the lower my tolerance became and the less I needed to smoke. Some people go cold turkey and they don't smoke at all. They go from smoking a lot to then smoking nothing. I didn't really want to do that because I wanted to be gentle with myself. I didn't want to shock my body into anything. I just really wanted it to be gradual, and I think it will give it better long-term effects and a higher chance that I won't go back to smoking again, if that makes sense. So this is something that I would definitely advise. So eventually I started to notice my mind wanted to have a spliff, but my body was like, no, you don't need that. My body was rejecting it. My body really started to reject the feeling. I wasn't getting the same feeling anymore when I was smoking. So that then encouraged me to start smoking even less. So I would go on to smoking half a spliff a day. This is when I started to notice I'm not leaning onto this substance anymore, and it felt very empowering. So the next thing that I'd done, which you could do as well, is I started to meditate with my bud. So meditate as I'm smoking that spliff. This was the game changer. When I started to meditate with my spliff, listen, you'll get all the tea that your spirit guides are trying to tell you. You'll get all the messages from your intuition. You will get all the guidance you need in life. Yeah, it was the most amazing experience in my life. And if I was to start smoking again, that would be the only time when I will. So what I would recommend you do is get yourself a notebook. This is one of my many notebooks. I'm addicted to buying notebooks. It's not even healthy, but yeah. So I'd get one of these and a pen, and I would meditate as I'm smoking. So take a few pull, meditate for about, not long, 5-10 minutes. And then the downloads started to come in. If you don't know what downloads are, it's basically messages from your higher self, messages from your spirit guides, your angels, your ancestors, whatever way you feel resonates with you. It was all just flooding in my mind. So this is a very powerful way that you could use smoking weed to connect with your higher self a bit more. After I started to do this for a while, I started to notice my body was just not accepting smoking anymore. And you'll notice that when you are starting to rise your vibration naturally through this and other things, your body will start to not need the things that you used to rely on. And it's a tricky one because your mind is saying, yeah, you need this thing, but your body and your spirit is saying, nah, I don't need this at all, like I'm good. That's a bit of a hill to cross to kind of get your mind and your body to align. So it's just listening to your body. I think it's a really important point, and being gentle with yourself as well. So if you do go back to smoking a bit more, or be gentle with yourself, like big yourself up that you're even trying, and just be patient. Rome was not built in a day, so just have patience with yourself and just encourage yourself to do it and try again. Tomorrow is another day. And so I don't smoke now. I don't intend to start smoking either. Like, say a couple of things as well that really helped me to stick to my guns in terms of not smoking was thinking about how much money I was saving. The amount of money that you can save from not having to feed that habit again, and having the energy when you wake up in the morning is just a different thing compared to when you smoked the evening before. So all of these things, having your mind as you're going on this journey to either change the way you smoked or stop altogether. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.